Hey y'all! So, today we're gonna talk about Anna. I am a fan of Luc Besson, I think is how you pronounce it, and his work. The Fifth Element is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Lucy, I love Nikita, The Professional, Columbiana. He makes interesting action, adventure, sometimes crime thrillery movies. Anna is not unlike other movies that he's made. There's so many. A movie like Red Sparrow, where you have, the ballet dancer that gets recruited and you get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes at a ballet company, performances and whatnot. But what makes Anna different is that the main character's parents died when she was very young. She got into drugs and all the things that come with drugs. Then one night she's offered an opportunity to turn her life around and to work for the Russian government as a member of the KGB. This is supposed to be set during the 90s, and she plays a model, a high fashion model, and she uses that position in order to carry out her assignments. When I tell you, they were just like, who's hot right now? Who's hot on the scene? So you got Cillian Murphy playing the American agent that's trying to track down this mysterious branch of the government. Luke Evans is playing her mentor / lover. And she's just tired. She's just tired of people telling her what to do. She's going through the motions. They kind of set her up to be discovered. She's discovered. Her face is suddenly everywhere, and she's like a supermodel. And it takes you behind the scenes of unglamorous side of being a model, which is where they're all, living elbow to elbow. She meets her girlfriend there and is hobnobbing with socialites and rich wealthy men, and that's all a part of her cover. Meanwhile, she is trying to get out from under the agency's control. She wants to live her own life and have freedom. She decides to become a double agent because the Americans, of course, are promising her freedom and a new life in America as long as she provides information about XYZ. She's caught, her cover is blown in terms of the KGB finding out about it, and she has to escape. And she manages to, with the help of her mentor's mentor, Olga, who kind of runs the show, travels on to greener pastures. I don't know who directed the trailer for this movie, but I just want to shake their hand because they absolutely tricked me into watching this movie based on the trailer. The fight scene in that trailer had me thinking along the lines of Atomic Blonde, but the reality was more okay. If you've ever seen the rhythm section, Blake Lively's character hits rock bottom. And by that I mean she was smoking crack. Anna's character at that point, I don't know what she was doing, but you can assume that she was doing something along those lines, especially because when you see her, she's getting it from her boyfriend, and it's all very bleak. But the tone of the film kind of oscillates. So you have that, and then you have stuff like her supposed to be flirting with people, which is just not it. And her pretending to be this wide-eyed ingenue to the photographer was just And her interacting, her boyfriend at the time was murdered and she was being interviewed. It was there's a lot of that. Her interactions where she's speaking to people, I'm just I'm getting the same wooden expression and the same cadence of speaking, even though it's some real stuff that's happening. Her dealing with her boyfriend and them tricking her into being in their car when they commit a crime, and her soft voice, not really aggressive or asserting herself, just let me out of the car, I don't want to be here for this, I see what y'all are doing and I don't want to be involved. But her smashing that girl's head against the steering wheel was very aggressive and strong, and I'm her personality and responses to things just go from A to like zebra so fast and didn't quite match with the urgency in the situation. Like, her man was murdered. Technically she murdered him, but he was. And they can't say that she did it, but she was the last person to see them. And she's like, can't you check the security cameras? Where do you think we are right now? You're supposed to be pretending like you're sad that he died, not encouraging them to, can't you check the surveillance cameras and see that I didn't do it? That's not what you say. You say, I'm in shock. I had no idea. You cry. You don't even have to say anything. You could just be white woman tears running down your face. That's what you could have did that entire time. That would have convinced me more than her asking these questions and responding to him, because it was way too smart, way too self-aware. You're supposed to be playing this bubble-headed supermodel. What are you doing? When she walked into that restaurant and there were no bullets in the gun, I was like, how professional are you? You're supposed to be at the top of your class. You want to get out of there. You want to stop doing training. You think you're ready for the real world. You didn't check your gun. No. Especially with her amazing escape from the KGB, from that office. That was crazy. So you expect me to believe that someone who has the wherewithal to be that strategic and make it out of there alive, with both her arms and both her legs and everything is intact, that she didn't remember to check her gun? And let me tell you something about these assignments. It's literally her walking into a situation and just shooting somebody. She don't have to do no research. She don't have to scope out the location. In that movie Columbiana, she was looking at blueprints. She was looking at exits. She had everything planned down to the exact right moment until she killed whoever it was she was assigned to kill. Zoe Saldana swam up into a house through a pool that had a shark in it. But because she's beautiful and super thin and a model, she just gets this free pass to literally just walk in, shoot a man, and then walk out. She's supposed to have skills, which brings me to the fight scenes. Some of them were good, but I really felt like somebody could have shot her and that'd been the end of it. When Elaine's character in Atomic Blonde fights, she fights in a very strategic way. She's aware of her surroundings and uses objects in it in a very strategic manner. To stay quiet, for example, and to stay out of sight, for example. Anna's character used things that were there because she ran out of the things that she came in there with. For example, having a gun with no bullets in it. And you gotta make do, I guess. I like the outfit changes. The issue that I have is this is supposed to be the 90s. In the fashion world, where are the iconic looks? This looked like something that could have came out years later in like the early 2000s, mid 2000s. This is the 90s. I was really expecting for there to be way more work put into the photo shoots when they would go out to parties or whatever. I was really expecting to see something, especially because she's going to Paris, she's going to Milan, she's going to Japan, she's going wherever. She's like going all over the world as a high fashion model. I was expecting for, if not her, because she don't know nothing about fashion, the models around her that have been doing it for a while to show me something. Or for the photographers and the designers and the makeup artists to put together something that felt very dated because it is supposed to be happening in the 90s. I was so upset by that. That was a huge missed opportunity. Her and Maude, two it girls as a couple. And I guess it was supposed to be like another layer of like public protection because she's with her. The depth of their relationship was never revealed to us. Maude appearing upset by the breakup was like, why? Yeah, y'all travel together, look gorgeous together, but what is it about your relationship that was so deep and so meaningful to you that you got you crying out here? Maude having a shaved head, I think, was the closest thing that I could see visually to something coming up in the 90s. You know, something edgy, kind of like punkish. That was about it. Also, some of these wigs were bad. Some of these wigs were real bad. And the focus being on beauty and fashion means that those things are noticed. And I was like, okay, all right, well, we're just gonna hang in there until the end. Her managing to escape, the only way that she was gonna get out was with the help of somebody else. The thing is, she's not very likable. She's not a likable character. She doesn't have hobbies. She doesn't have things that interest her. We see flashbacks from her childhood where she's playing chess, but does she even like chess, or is that something that she focuses on because it's a childhood memory and she remembers playing chess before her parents died? We don't know. We don't really know what her relationship with her parents was really like, because the only flashes that we see are her playing chess and then them right before they died and them like driving in the car. I'm like, okay, if you want fight scenes, exotic locales, long legs, I would give Anna a 2 out of 5. Yeah, some of the music choices were pretty good. Her double crossing the cross was kind of funny. Them not knowing about each other was hilarious. Alex works for the KGB. Cillian Murphy's character's name was Lenny, and he worked for the CIA. What is happening? And I just don't get her, I guess. She just seems very blank, very beige, like she could have been anyone, and I expected more. At the beginning of the movie, she was applying to be in the military, and it's like, girl, why? What do you want to do for the military? What do you want to get out of being in the military besides changing your circumstances? You know, she was doing drugs, but apparently she could just stop doing them at any time without difficulty. And not go back to them at any time, not be tempted by them with all the stress she's under, never comes back up. Yeah, so I was just expecting a bit more. What did you all think of the movie? Please let me know. Thank you all for spending your time here with me today. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.